Check 1 2 1 2. In the place to be. AC Sports Live. On a Tuesday that happens to be Valentine's Day. For all my lovers in the air. Lovers out there. How we doing tonight? Hope everybody's feeling good. Just got back from my hot date with Miss Cobbs. Had a nice dinner at the Ruth Chris. It's always a blessing and an honor to take my lovely wife out for a lovely evening of some vittles, some food that we probably shouldn't be eating. But it's important that we keep that fire going. After she reminded me we've been together for 31 years. Going on 25 married. Pat on the back for making it last so long. It's been a minute, but we still together. Rio, what's up, big homie? What it do? Are you in the shy? Ruth Chris is the place to be. Now I did have to send back my filet. I asked for it to be medium. That thing came back rare. It was still bleeding. I said, send that thing back. Big Shelton Gillis, artist extraordinaire. If you have not checked out his latest work, go to Shelton Gillis on Facebook. Check out his work. My man is a savant. Hooked up my son with a nice print. Baller. Scholar. Appreciate you, Big G. All right, man. Tonight's show. You still in NorCal? All right, Rio. Haven't moved yet? Chi-Town's finest. All right, so of course, topic of discussion is still this Super Bowl. The instant classic between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles of Philadelphia. The Chiefs triumphed by kicking an oblong ball through a giant H. It was a most exhilarating experience. And I would say heartbreaking for us Eagles fans. But as a football fan, you had to appreciate the edge of your seat action from start to finish. Patrick Mahomes is that dude. As the kids would say, he is him. No doubt about it. Hands down, best quarterback in the NFL right now. Patrick Mahomes is so good. Let me put it like this. Tom Brady is the, I would say, 80% GOAT right now amongst those who have a vote. Is either Tom Brady or Montana. But Tom Brady has 7 rings. So now the question is, how many rings can Mahomes win? So this is how good Patrick Mahomes is. Patrick's so good. As you guys probably remember, we saw Tom Brady in his draws a couple weeks ago in a room by himself before his sons came for visitation. Patrick Mahomes is so good. He could make Tom Brady come out of retirement. That's how good Patrick Mahomes is. Because if Patrick Mahomes already has 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl rings, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he didn't have any receivers, just Travis Kelce. Patty Mahomes. You know how we were talking about LeBron James passing a Kareem and nobody was going to pass LeBron? They said the same thing about Kareem 40 years ago. Nobody's going to pass that. LeBron passed it. So in about 35, 40 years, somebody's going to pass. I don't know. LeBron James. But if Patrick Mahomes has accomplished all he's accomplished already, He's solved the Burrow puzzle. The Chiefs' defense has elevated their game to a championship level. That offensive line, as Mike Tyson once eloquently said, was impetuous, impregnable, ferocious. My Eagles' vaunted defensive line didn't sniff Patrick Mahomes on Sunday night. Not one sack, not one turnover. I'm screaming at the screen, get the ball out. CJ hit Pacheco and he did not give that pill up. It was a wrap. So the Chiefs right now have a good thing going. I don't see how Patrick Mahomes doesn't get at least 5 championships in his career. If he can play without top talent and still execute the way he executed, and I know a lot of that was bad defense by the Eagles. We busted a bunch of coverages. A couple of those touchdowns were busted coverages. Overthinking, overcompensating for Kelsey's first half. The adjustment was a wrong adjustment. You cannot forget about Juju. You cannot forget about McKinnon. You cannot forget about the other guy, Valdez-Scantling, the foreign name guy. Can't do it. Rodney Sauce in the house. NPR in the house. Rio says, that wasn't a hold. I don't care what people say. You can't call that call. It was a hold. But I agree with the second part of your statement. You can't make that call. Why you can't make that call? Because you did make the call earlier in the game. You have to make that call because now the lights are on you. But I think precedence will be set if you make it earlier in the game. That's my only problem with it, is the inconsistency of it. Rodney Sauce is a professional ref. I hope he gives us a little insight on how that works. Do you establish what is going to be deemed holding and PI early in the game? Or was it just a missed call earlier? The couple of holds that were earlier in the game. Are you going to let them fist fight a little bit? You're going to let them have a little bit of contact, make them play big boy ball? Because I know they weren't calling holding. And I saw some holds myself. And I'm not even an official. I saw some holds. But I said the refs are letting them play. That's good. But you fast forward. Andy Reid on the sideline. Hey, ref, 24 has been holding us all game. All right, got you, coach. All right, run that triple wheel route. Triple whip wheel route. Juju, right here in front of the ref. Go ahead and see what happens. Boom. Holding for the game. NPR. Mark Paul, modern day's finest. I'm watching football alone from now on. Almost had to put hands on someone at the Super Bowl party. NPR, man, what was the situation? Why would you have to put somebody in danger of their life? You weren't playing. You were a spectator. Why y'all getting in fisticuffs at the Super Bowl party, man? What's really going on at the party? Brady the GOAT. Mahomes can pass him if he stays healthy. Remember, Brady had the luxury of staying in the pocket. Great point. If Pat got bad ankles, he better go see the specialist that Curry went to go see. Get you some nice ankle braces. I don't see how you have bad ankles when you got thick ankles. Mahomes got them thick ankles. You see him taped up, heavily taped up. In that routine tackle, he was acting like he was hurt. Matter of fact, I want a drug test because he came out that locker room feeling real good. He had a 35-yard run. So whatever they shot him up with, got him right. Got him right for the whole summer. He might need to have surgery in like 3 months because now when that stuff wears off, he going to be in trouble. He was feeling way too good after that shot he took at halftime because you thought he was going to die before the half. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to hear it that we got to knock people out the game to win games. I want to see the best. And we saw the best and we lost. So hindsight's 20/20. I kind of wish he was a little bit more hurt so he couldn't do what he did. That was a big run he had in the second half. That might have sealed our fate. Not 5 chips. Give him 3. Mahomes getting 5 chips. Anna in Texas. It was. Happened all game long. Anna is my resident fact checker. If I'm wrong or any of y'all wrong, she gonna let us know. She's an OG from Long Beach. She knows her stuff. Call it the entire game or not at all. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Call it. If you call it, all right, I'm playing corner and I get a holding call in the first quarter. I now know I can't do that. That's what Bradbury's situation was. I did that earlier. You didn't call it, and it was worse. That's all we're saying. All right, Rodney, the resident official. That call has to be made. If the quarterback didn't look in that direction, maybe you let it go. But that was Mahomes' first look because Andy Reid prepped the ref. Bienemy prepped the ref. The entire sideline prepped that ref. We're going to do a double move on this play. Watch this. Boom. Does the ref have to make that call on LeBron James versus the Celtics last week? Apparently not. Rodney Sauce says you have to make that call. Ooh, if he didn't call it, I don't think people would have been mad because we would have got that Super Bowl overtime that we all wanted to see. But instead, we get to see McKinnon run to the 1 yard line and take a knee, run the clock out, field goal, game time. Game time. Oh, yeah, they shot him up, Big Sheldon. You know they shot him up with that good stuff. I don't even think it was cortisone. I think they gave him straight up cocaine. Because he came out like wasn't nothing wrong. Like, he had a new leg. It was almost like, I believe my man Chris Purnell said he did that Mr. Miyagi on him, and it came out brand new. Whatever happened, he came out real good. They went back there and they got the secret sauce. So what happened at the party, Mark? He said, my brother-in-law talks like he's Bill Belichick and Andy Reid. The former basketball equipment manager don't know nothing about football. He was trying to tell me what defense the Eagles were in. He was mad when I told him he was wrong and started yapping. So I told him my fist is the medicine for his running in his mouth. That'll do it. We arguing over something that we have no control over. We arguing about something that we may or may not know. All I know was the defense we ran created no plays. I have never seen a defense make no plays. That was, not one stop. The only time they didn't score is when McKinnon took a knee at the 1 yard line. And that dude got a head coaching job. What's our coordinator name? Gannon or Steichen? Steichen? Steichen and Gannon are gone. Our offensive defensive coordinators are both gone. And we didn't even win the game. Yet, Eric Bienemy will be on the sidelines for the Chiefs yet again. What's that Far Side call? She keeps on passing me by. They passed him by Black History Month. Again. Left Witch at the house too. The man has won 2 Super Bowls as the OC. We know Eric Bienemy ain't the OC, man. We know he ain't the OC. We know Andy Reid's calling them plays. That's why the NFL is not gonna give him a job. Dub C in the house. Oh yeah, they gave him some booger sugar, but they shot at his foot. You put cocaine in your foot, you run a little faster. Ask the Cocaine Bear. I'm gonna go see that this weekend. I'm gonna see Cocaine Bear. Rodney Sauce said the NBA is different. They have routinely not made foul calls with seconds to play in the game. In the fourth quarter, fans who pay good money are okay with going to overtime. NFL, they make those calls. From our resident official, Rodney Sauce, our other official sent Q Carter. He calls in the first quarter. He calls holding the first play of the game. He tells DBs before the game, don't be holding. He's that dude. Mike Staff in the house. Time Is Now podcast. No copyright on the Nas track. Just some innuendos and some similarities. I didn't do jack crap. Happy you didn't do nothing today. You didn't take your good wife out. They didn't give Caldwell the look either. Two other unmelanated guys got jobs as soon as the Eagles had a little success. Oh, we talked about that all day today. Why can't you know why? Caldwell was probably the only black offensive coordinator to get a job, and they fired him after a 9-7 season in Detroit. They don't think we can think, man. To my white brothers and sisters on this line, don't take it the wrong way, but we gotta speak the facts, man. Eric Bienemy's not getting a job because he's black. Brian Leftwich didn't get a job because he's black. They don't think we could think and run an offense, even though we have Super Bowls. Tom Brady vouched for Leftwich. Andy Reid vouched for Eric Bienemy. But those who make those decisions don't believe that fat meat is greasy and water is wet. You hear Eric Bienemy speak on the press conferences. They say he doesn't interview well. Does Adam Gase interview well? Does Dan Campbell interview well? I believe not. Matt Patricia? These dudes can't interview well. I can't see Matt Patricia putting on a suit for his interview. He probably came with his hat backwards and a pin in the side of his hat, trying to call defenses. Yeah, I'm Matt Patricia. Come on, man. Come on, man. We know what it is. NFL has a problem at the top. We understand quarterbacks they are now okay with us playing quarterback to a certain degree. You ask, why won't they pay Lamar Jackson? Why isn't Jalen Hurts regarded as an elite quarterback? Because it's still a little remnant of the past in the thought process of who can lead a team, who can be the head guy of a team. We have to get away from that. They want us to not celebrate two black quarterbacks. Then you have to help us erase the racism in a league that is 85% melanated. Help us, man. Mark Paul said the NFL and Trinity League ain't hiring no black coaches. Man, that rumor last week of a black coach going to Mater Day. I'm like, man, please. Let me see. I need to see a contract. Chef said, you said Reed made attention to it. So the ref was watching and did what his instinct and trained to do and made the call. If you work the referees and you don't badger them and patronize them and tell them they're blind, Rodney Sauce can attest to this. If you have a relationship with the referee and it's one of respect and you understand how hard their jobs are, and I understand it. That's why when I coach, I don't trip off the refs unless it's really, really bad. But it's never to a point where I don't understand how they made that call unless I know it's blatant home cooking. But I've only reffed a couple of games in my life, and it is not an easy job. They got to go to training. They got to go to workshops. They get graded. They get docked if they don't make calls. It's not the easiest job in the world. And many of them are not very liked by players and coaches alike. But the Super Bowl has the best group. I believe Rodney can help me with this. The best group they could put together for this one game. And I was glad they weren't calling anything the whole game, because they could call it every play if they wanted to and make the game really mid and boring. This game was not that. This game was high action, fast paced, because they weren't calling anything. It had to be a blatant call. Like you line up in a neutral zone, your head on top of the ball. They gotta call that, man. Bradbury held Juju twice. And if they were reminded that they missed the call in the first half and that 24 has been grabbing all night long, it's not even saying, hey, ref, you missed it earlier. It's just a reminder. Hey, coach, tell the ref that 24 been holding the whole game. And matter of fact, run that double move real quick on our sideline so this ref right here can see it. He's going to do it right here. Watch 24 hold. I'm just saying this is what could have happened, why he called this. Because if it was not called, like Rodney said, if Mahomes did not target Juju, you probably don't make that call. But since Mahomes looked at Juju on the first route, the whip route, Bradbury bit on the whip route because it's 3rd and 8 for the game. And you're impressed. You're taught to get your hands on them. Juju runs a good route. Runs the whip to the out to the fade. The ref sees all this action right in front of him. Nothing distracting him because there's nobody else on the side of the field. They run Kelsey to the other side of the field, so it's just Juju and Bradbury on that side of the field. It's genius. If this is what Andy Reid's attention to detail got him, he got just what he wanted. There are plenty of white coordinators who don't call plays. They still get jobs. All right, don't go too deep into it. We know what time it is. What does that mean? Interview well. That's code for he talk like a ninja and they don't feel comfortable. We get into the nitty gritty, y'all. Because it has to be. It can't be an intelligence thing. It's being comfortable. Because Dan Campbell said he's biting ankles. Like scratching. He said he's scratching shins and biting off kneecaps. And we're going to scrap and claw. I like Dan Campbell. I wouldn't have hired him as a head coach. But since they had success, they're going to let it ride out. But over here, they hire Lovie Smith to lose. And if I'm Lovie Smith, I take that money too. And I will win the last game so you don't get the first pick. We know what's happening, y'all. We know what's happening. We're not dumb. We get it. Mark Paul said he works at Mater Dei. And I'm waiting to see. You're going to keep waiting. I think you're going to be gone before it happens. It's going to have to be like, this will have to happen for Mater Dei to hire a black coach. Mater Dei's longtime great coach, Bruce Rollinson's great granddaughter, has to marry a black dude. And he has to be an outstanding coach. He would have to have coached at USC. He would have to lead USC to a national championship. He would have to say, I'm stepping down to spend time with my family. He would have to be sitting at the house for 2 years and say, I want to coach again. And then Mater Dei would say, hey, Rollinson's son-in-law, Rollinson's great son-in-law wants to coach. Maybe then. Or Rollinson's great granddaughter has a baby by a brother, and that baby grows up to be a coach. He can get the job by being a relative of Bruce Rollinson. Nepotism at its finest. That's the only way it's going to happen. They ain't going to hire no bruh, no Mater Dei. Kawhi looking 2019 Kawhi. Is he? I heard he looked bad. Ronnie said he looked old. Clippers look scary. Oh, man. I'll need you to say the Sixers look scary. The Lakers look pretty good with the new dudes. All right, man. So what I took for away from the Super Bowl, it was an instant classic. I'm glad Holmes showed why he's the temporary GOAT of this generation. But I must give my man Jalen Hurts his flowers too. As I put in the program, Mahomes is him, but Hurts is him too. I am confident we're in good hands for a minute. Now, the discrepancy and the dilemma and the problem and the hurdle will be our 6 free agents and them paying Hurts. Does Hurts break the bank, or does Hurts take a I wouldn't say pay cut. I'll just say a little bit more of a backloaded contract to keep his weapons intact and to get us a linebacker and another defensive lineman and another corner so we can be a better team next year. That's what all this leadership stuff he's talking and his disposition about being a team guy leading stuff. Does he take less money this next year, but they load it on the back guaranteed for years to come? You only got a small window to be great. Let's see what happens. Mark Paul said, I'm hearing so much hearsay. I don't know what to believe. You just got to sit back and get your boys right. Make sure them linemen right. You guys got the full cupboard of players again. Can you beat Bosco? That's the key. That's the question. Can you beat Bosco? Juju was killing Bradbury after halftime. If I'm the field or side judge, I'm waiting for a PI because Juju is beating him too easily. And the DB will start to lose confidence and grab out of desperation. Now, you say you're waiting. Do referees like to call calls? Do you guys like to make a call? Or do you hate to call a call? Like, you just can't wait to call one? Or you think, I got to call this. Because like an AAU basketball ref, man, you're going to make me call something, man. Get rid of the ball. That's 5 seconds. Oh, man, I got to call that, man. You in the key too long. 3 seconds. Oh, man, you keep carrying the ball. I got to call it. Carrying. CP3, Chris Brunell on YouTube. Hey, if you on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. I've been slacking on my subscriptions, my subs. Subscribe to the AC Sports Live Show. Purnell hosted an awesome Super Bowl party at the Chateau de Purnell. Tamara and Chris are gracious hosts. We had a plethora of foods. Some of the food was too bougie for me. Y'all don't believe in regular old wings. Y'all got to have bourgeois wings and bourgeois sausage. Some pate. Some baguettes. You know your boy AC brought cheesesteak sliders. Keep it real, homie. North Philly. Great environment, CP3. Nobody acting crazy. Talking enough trash for us to have an exciting day. My girl, Kim from Long Beach, Poly, we was in the house going for the Eagles. Even though Juju from Poly, we was going for the Eagles. Found out she was Rod's sister. I was like, wait a minute, Rod Hannibal. I played with Rod Hannibal. That's your brother? Small world. And their son, Aaron, boxes at our gym. Small world. Good time at the Purnell house. Left my pot over there. I had to go over there and get that thing. Rodney said less is better. They don't want to call no calls. Please don't make me call a call. We like a game to flow. I hope so. I sure hope so. The Queen, Elaine Williams. Hey, Elaine, we miss you. We still waiting for the podcast. Where is it? I can't see it. All right, keep moving. So officiating, as Rodney said, they want to flow. And they have to make calls when it's like that. And I understand. But man, that is a terrible way to lose if you're an Eagles fan. I wonder how Chiefs fans feel about it. Did the Chiefs fans appreciate the call? Or did it damper what they could have seen in OT? Would they have wanted to see Pat Mahomes in a sudden death situation? Gilly Gill said black coach won't pass the background check from modern day. I passed the background check. I can go coach Division 4, win a championship, and be the most qualified candidate they won't select me. May not be because of my skin color, because of my high school background. That might be it. That might be the same reason why the great Raul Lara is not being considered. I mean, he's being considered, but I don't think he's really being considered because he's a jackrabbit. At the end of the day, Mark Paul Robinson, y'all don't want no jackrabbit leading no modern day monarchs. They might think we trying to sabotage. They might try to think we tanking. There's deep hate there. That's a rivalry. That's the rival. That's the enemy. All right, man. So the commercials, I don't know how many of y'all was as messed up as we were. We was at the Purnell house and the Tubi commercial came on and everybody in the house started looking for the remote. I thought for sure we had just looked at a play that we weren't sure about. And we were like, man, I don't know if that was what happened. And then the Tubi commercial came on. I thought somebody was trying to rewind it to see the play. And I was like, yo, turn it back on. The game's coming back on. So they got us. I don't know if they got y'all. They got us. I started looking at Chris Purnell like, hey, man, CP3, what's up with the TV, man? I thought he had the remote. And my buddy was sitting next to me, had his phone. I thought his phone was changing the channel. I'm like, yo. That's how you know it's a good game. When you don't want no interruptions. So Tubi got us pretty good. And it's the commercial everybody's talking about. So Tubi wins. If you're going to go like that. Now, I did like the Planters Roast commercial. That was pretty creative. I like that one. Where they was roasting the Planters peanut. I think that was pretty clever. They said when you go to parties, what do you eat? People. And they laugh. I think that was pretty cool. I like that one. Snoop Dogg is trying to slang Skechers. I don't think this is going to ride too well in the hood. I don't think the homies from the 2-1 Street going to rock no Skechers. You can give it to us for free. We might wear them to cut the grass. But Snoop, just get your bag. Take the money. Hope you didn't promise no sales. I hope you didn't promise the homies in the hood was going to jump on these Skechers. Skechers slip-ins. I don't care how cool the writing is. This is about as bad as Shaq selling his shoe at Walmart. Or Marbury selling his shoes for $20. Not the streets. The streets ain't rocking with Skechers. That's gonna be a difficult sell. The kids try to wear some Champions a couple years back, but the OGs ain't wearing no Champions. Now I do know Skechers has a couple of shoes with memory foam. They're a little bit comfy, but they're still Skechers. If I wear Skechers to the spot, the homie's gonna say something. If you wear your Skechers to the barbershop, the homie's gonna say something. You better have a Skechers contract. I don't even think Klay Thompson wearing no Skechers. Klay Thompson wearing Antas. I don't know, Snoop. Mark Paul said probably should go get Lara back. I don't think Lara wants to go back. He left on good terms with a good team. He just needed something new. I think he likes building where he is. There's too much of a hassle over at Poly and not getting the support you want to be successful and compete against Modern Day and Bosco. You need a lot more support, and you're not getting it, and you're still expected to beat those guys. That's frustrating in itself. So I get it. Ronnie Saw said, to be fair, people forget that they called offensive pass interference in the first half on a pick play. They have missed one, but overall, they were consistent. I don't know, man. An offensive pass interference versus a defensive hold. Again, if I'm Bradbury and I'm the guy that did the holding in the first half, they did not call. I have not been conditioned to know that this game we cannot hand fight and grab even a little bit. Even though I've been one to grab to save a touchdown. I'm not giving up a touchdown. I'm gonna grab. Call it. But in this play right here, That's tough, man. That's really tough. My point that they will have different standards. Absolutely. Nah, them Skechers ain't hitting on nothing. I'm trying to tell you, Rio. Elaine says Skechers are sketchy. They're good for cutting the grass, painting the house, changing your garbage disposal. Putting in a new toilet. They're good for something, but I'm not rocking them things to the event. I can't wear those to Vets Park, to the picnic, the 30-year picnic reunion. And I'm wearing some Skechers. I gotta explain that. I'm not wearing those shoes that I have to explain the situation. Can't do it. Ronnie said, well, the only reason it was a hold because he did it before the quarterback released the ball. If he does it while the ball's in the air, is PI. If it's before the quarterback throws it, is holding. Either way, he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. They good to run, go outside and grab the mail. I think that's they're athletic house shoes. Let's put it like that. All right, so Rihanna performed at halftime. I missed most of it being in the Pernell massage chair. That thing is dangerous. I almost missed the second half. That thing was so great. It pulled your back apart. I'm gonna need to get that chair myself. Rihanna performed, and her special guest was her new child in her belly. Get out her belly. We need to see Rihanna dance. We saw Rihanna do a two-step. So she really couldn't sing work, 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 work. She would have probably had an issue with her baby in her belly. I wonder if her fans were pleased. Shout out to ASAP Rocky for knocking her up again. That's how you do it. You don't give her no time to breathe. What the doctor say? 12 weeks. Boom. See you in 9 months, baby. She's like, but Rocky, I have a career. He like, nah, baby. Your career right now is making these babies. We got work to do. Congratulations to Rihanna and Rocky on their second child on the way. The performance, for what it's worth, she could not dance because of her belly. I believe it was still a pretty well produced piece with those platforms in the air. I think it was pretty cool. However, I think that might be kind of why the end zone, I mean the footing, like as bad as the field was, they had to put some divots in the ground. But the platform and the stage, all the different stages they had. Not saying this is why the footing was so bad. I believe the type of grass they used was not your typical grass that you use in a football stadium. This was some synthetic golf grass, not the Bermuda crabgrass we used to play on that will at least allow the cleats to grab something. I'm going to use this as an excuse why our defensive ends couldn't get to Mahomes. We couldn't put our feet in the ground good because we were afraid we were going to fall. He said that's why they call him ASAP. He's like, baby, we got to do it again ASAP. Let me know when it's ready. I'm ready. Sheldon said she was okay. Said he really put in that work. She really put it in real quick, like. Tandai, what up, big baby? 800,000 on a field that couldn't even hold up. They had to put in them Walter Payton cleats to get some tractions. What's the biggest thing? Line adjustments. Line adjustments. Grass was grown for 2 years. Was that in the script? That grass was grown for 2 years and it wasn't sturdy enough for one game. They play multiple games at the Home Depot Center. They play multiple games at SoFi on the same day. What kind of grass is that? Is that field turf? That sprint turf is not real grass. See, that's my thing. I hope we don't go to field turf everywhere. I'm a grass guy. I like grass. I would rather slip than blow my knee out. I would rather slip and fall than blow out my Achilles. When we were coming up, we didn't have nothing but grass. Nobody got hurt. It wasn't until they got this sprint turf where everybody runs faster and they have no slippage where guys start getting hurt. CP3 said Eagles got away with 2 calls earlier. The fumble, they said it wasn't, and the sideline play juggling the ball and calling it a catch. And now you want them not to call a double hold. CP3, we watched the same plays. I said to you they need to change what a catch is. A football move is subjective. He caught that ball, turned around, and then he got hit. That's a football move to me. He caught that ball and fumbled that ball. It's a scoop and score. However, the rules say a football move 2 feet in the ground. So we take that one. The catch on the sideline is 2 feet in bounds. You bobble the ball. That foot is still on the ground. That's a step. That's a gather step like James Harden. He still had a foot on the ground when he had possession, and then the left foot came down. That's the rule, Big CP. Let them play. Let them play. Yes, sir. He said those rules cleats. Remember them cleats that Walter Payton used to wear? Is it in the picture? I got a picture of Walter Payton on the wall. He got them rules on, them long cleats. See, Walter Payton was smart. He wore them 1-inch cleats. I'd rather deal with Mitch, my grass allergies, than that turf. Every day of the week, bro. Every day of the week. All right, my tender love report. I knew I should have known. See, I was my Juju's my guy. But when Juju came in, like it was it 1850? I'm not sure if that's German or whatever kind of war outfit that is. I don't agree. I would have not have worn it, but I know he was trying to make a statement. This is similar to what Westbrook did. Juju came in with the skirt on and the combat boots and a beret. So something is there. He needs to come back to Long Beach and explain what is going on. But since he played well, we're going to let him slide and let him explain. Let him come before the judge and explain his side of the story. However, Fletch, we knew we was in trouble when our biggest, meanest, toughest, most aggressive leader shows up to the spot in a blouse. We should have known that he came in there with a bridesmaid dress underneath his suit, that we was in trouble. His face looked like he was doing something wrong. He looked like he was doing something wrong at the hotel, and he looked like he was up to no good. And we knew we was in trouble when our biggest, meanest, most intimidating defensive tackle, nose tackle, 3 technique. Tell him, Mark Paul, this got to be the meanest guy on the team. Comes to the game in a blouse. When the Chiefs had the ball with a minute and a half left, I reminded myself, we in trouble. And it was like, not because Patrick Mahomes is unstoppable, but because we're not going to make no plays on D. Fletcher Cox came to the game with a blouse on. We can't win. That's bad juju right there. No pun at Juju Smith-Schuster, but come on, man. And it don't match. It doesn't even match. You can't wear no blue silver on top of pewter underdress. Is that a camisole, Elaine? AC just said he came in with the skirt on, with a straight face. I need an explanation from Juju. Like what historic war where the guys came in skirts? That's the only thing that's going to be justify. Because I know why Roddy Piper wore his skirt, and I knew what Roddy Piper was about. He was about that business. So Juju can explain when he comes home. We'll ask him. We're gonna be at the Juju camp. Juju, man, congratulations on the Super Bowl, bro. Hey, man, what's up with that skirt? We gotta find out, man. But this right here, Fletcher Cox, no explanation. Your wife want to know, where are you wearing my halter top, brother? Who'd you have at the hotel last night? He got that look on his face like, well, you remember that? Remember Charlotte? Yeah, she was in town. Yeah. Man, he looked like he had something going on at the hotel. He had no business, man. And that looks like a bridesmaid dress, man. It is all bad. He was like, gang blouses. I think a Kansas City Chief probably walked up to him after the game and said that. Because you know guys don't let nothing slide. He walked out looking like a member of Vanity 6. Ooh, Juju or Fletch? They both were wrong. Dead wrong. This right here is more wrong than Juju's wrong. Because I think Juju's is explainable. Acceptable? No. Explainable? Yes. We need answers. All right. My 2 cents. Why did we boo? Why did the Eagles fans boo LeBron James? I mean, he was just there to enjoy the Super Bowl with his lovely wife. But I want to say an apology to King James. I had a slide of him and his lovely wife at the game, and they were just minding their own business, and the announcer said LeBron James in attendance, and my beloved Eagles fans proceed to boo the king. And the king had to give the crown. He had to crown himself to remind them that, hey, I'm the king. You don't boo me. So I apologize to you, Bron. You didn't deserve that. But how does it feel to be the villain? You are now the villain because you passed Kareem, the GOAT. Well, my GOAT. You passed my GOAT with 2,100 points worth of 3-pointers. So technically, you ain't passed Kareem in a lot of our eyes because you did a lot of 3-point shooting, and Kareem only made 1 3-pointer in his career. That's why we mad. Tell him why you mad, son. That's why we mad. That's why. Now, I know why we booed Dak. Dak is the recipient of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, but you still play for the Cowboys. So us Eagles fans, we don't care. If you giving a check for $5 million to the Cancer Foundation, that's a mighty fine gesture of you, Dak Prescott. But you can still get these boos. Boo! Get him out of here! Get him out of here! Boo! He said the old lady at the church. Fletch. Big Nate in the house. Nate said Juju rocking the Russell Westbrook collection. When Russ wore his, he said it's fashion. I think Juju owes us more than that. He better not just say fashion. He better say Ming the Merciless wore this, or Genghis Khan wore this. Somebody wore this. This is what you wear when you go to war. Now, my Polynesian brothers I played football with at Long Beach Poly, we wore lava lavas on game day. It is a Polynesian tradition to wear a lava lava around your waist. And they gave us one as the bros. They embraced us as brothers, so we wore our lava lavas. It was a traditional war garb. That's why I need to hear what Juju has to say about his skirt. If he says it's just fashion, he gonna get the gas face. That's an old lady church suit. That's an old mother suit at the church. That's an old Gertrude Hightower suit. All he's missing is the wig and the hat, some glasses, and mad attitude. That's all he's missing. He didn't bring no attitude to the game. We needed Gertrude to play D-line for us because we didn't get no pass rush up the middle. Is it me, or does he look like he's relaxing, like the season is over? It ain't just you. That was not a Polynesian fit. My lava lava or Juju's? Juju being Polynesian, if he came in with a lava lava, I would have been like, okay, it's over with. It's a wrap. He came in with something else. That was a skirt. Eric Bienemy got passed up again. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. I said it to someone else. Eric Bienemy needs to leave Kansas City while while the iron is hot. He might have to be the OC somewhere else because we know Andy Reid's calling them plays. My sports flicks, as a wrap up the show, my Black History edition. I checked out the Bill Russell Legend documentary, 2-part series on Netflix. Outstanding doc. Bill Russell was a man among plumbers. Bill Russell was the dude though, man. He stood for so much and he put up with so much. Here I am thinking Bill Russell just loved Boston and thought he was a white man. He was the total opposite. Yes, he may have married a white woman in his later years, but if she loves him, that's love. But he had no love for the city of Boston. He loved his teammates because they grinded for him. They looked out for him. Even Red Auerbach rode for him at the hotel when they would not wait on them or serve them as players of color at the hotel. And they boycotted. They just said, we're not playing if you're not going to serve us. We're not playing in this city. And the other NBA players around the league boycotted as well. We're not playing until we're treated fairly. And I just think that is so admirable, man. That is so commendable, where we got guys today wearing a Can't Breathe t-shirt, but afraid to not play and really make a stand. That's why I have so much respect for Bill Russell and Kareem and Jim Brown. Jim Brown walked away from basketball. Muhammad Ali gave up his belt. So it was a different day. And Bill Russell was the leader of that. In a very, very racist Boston town, he was still able to overcome. He was still able to be one of the legends. He was still able to make Wilt Chamberlain tap out. And that might be why I don't have Wilt Chamberlain in my top 5. He tapped out. My dad used to always tell me Wilt was the man, but he tapped out. And I didn't know what that meant. He gave up on his team when they saw it was too hard for them to come back and win. And then he told the coach to put me back in the game when they came back. That don't ride with me, man. That does not ride with me very well. So Wilt was always about himself, his money. He wasn't for the struggle. He didn't help out at all when it comes to the. And you don't have to. Michael Jordan didn't help us either. But we still regard Michael Jordan very, very, very highly. But we know Michael Jordan was a lion on the court, except for those 2 years where he sat down when his dad was murdered. I don't think it was more of a loss of love for the game. It was just so much going on in his life. So we kind of understood that. Whereas Wilt, it was convenient for him to tap out. And that's not cool when you look at, and that's kind of why we're so mad that LeBron's not playing right now. You just went for 36 points to get the record, and now your foot hurt? Your foot wasn't hurting when you got the record. We want to see you play, man. That's why people are like, yo, not my GOAT. Juju's fit was not Polynesian at all. Big time Dougie Doug Brooks, man. My newfound brother from another mother. He said, y'all, this ain't the Jesus that we grew up on. Fellow minister Brooks, Pastor Brooks, Minister Brooks, preach that word. Yeshua is the same today, tomorrow, and forevermore. We don't need no remix. Tell him, Doug. Tell him, big time. Keep it righteous. Nate said people under Shanahan and McVay don't seem to have problems getting jobs, despite not calling the plays. It's a boys club, y'all. It's a boys club, and some of the bros ain't members. The country club don't accept everybody. We know it ain't. Key, what are you doing awake? You should be asleep. You are in Philadelphia. It is 1 a.m. Go to bed. Get up in the morning, take your son to school. It's important to remember the history. It really is. I think the Bill Russell documentary is a history lesson. I also checked out the Mahmoud Rauf documentary, Stand. Man, they blackballed Chris Jackson and act like he was not the player he used to be. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf was Steph Curry before Steph Curry. Shaq said he was the most incredible player he's ever seen. He had Tourette's syndrome, so he had a tic. People made fun of him. He used his situation, diagnosis, condition to his advantage and became a perfectionist in basketball. He was not comfortable with his faith as a Christian growing up. So when he became of age, he began to look for a religion, to look for a faith. He turned to Islam. He even had problems with that, as the Orthodox Muslims were trying to refute that you stand for the national anthem because that's where you live and that's kind of what you do. And he said, but that doesn't make any sense to me. So he had a lot of things he stood for and what he believed, but his story is pretty powerful. And that this man did give up his entire career for what he believed in. I don't totally agree with everything he believes in, but for the most part, he lives by it. And he's been solid, he's been consistent, and he was able to walk away from the game, which turned in to a pretty nice career, training people and speaking at places where his story can help people. And that's kind of what his cause is. And I respect that. Rodney Saw said, this has always been LeBron when things are difficult. If not for Bronny and Bryce being LA kids, I think LeBron would bounce. Dang. He's a rental like that. He takes himself to school. Oh, your son takes himself to school. Okay, so then you can stay up a little bit. All right, then hang with your boy. Hang out a little bit. Tendai said Eric Bienemy still doesn't have a bigger position. Don't need one, man. You just woke up. You're going to be up all night then. It's one. Bill Russell from Oaktown, hometown homeboy. He go from Oakland to Boston. That's got to be a serious culture shock in the 50s and 60s. They shut Chris down on purpose. I mean, man. I don't know if he was unguardable, man. I mean, you look at Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul Rauf highlights. And you don't tell me you don't see Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, some more quick guards that had a real quick release. Remind me of Monte Ellis was like that. I mean, incredible release and handle and hops. And they put him on medication and made him fat and slow. So he got off the medication, got back in shape. But they still cut him down before it was his prime, man. Work from home, good for you. Nate, still mad about the Tubi ad. That Tubi ad wins, man. We were all upset. We were all ready to hit the kids. We were all ready to jump out our seats and see what the problem was. All right, Rod Strickland. Yes, Rod Strickland also had that quick release and that quick handle. Definitely one of them guys that Chris Jackson, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf modeled himself after. He hit Jordan for 50. Who could say that, man? He hit Jordan for 50. I thought my man sitting next to me changed the channel with his phone. I was ready to get him. I said, man, what you doing? All right, man, that's my show. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with your boy. AC Sports Live on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, on the Empire Sports Network as well. Appreciate all y'all. We on Twitch too. Remember, if you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, share. All those good things. We want to keep the synergy going. All right. Trying to get back in the flow of things. This is my second week back after a long hiatus. The boy done joined the track team, so let's see how that goes. If that's going to take up on my Tuesdays, or maybe not. I don't know what day the track meets are yet. I'll keep y'all posted. Appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a blessed evening. We'll see y'all next time. Peace out.